Give it a couple more minutes. A lot of you had contacted me this week. That was good. It looks like not everyone um, submitted a model, so once we get logged in, I'm just going to do a quick run through of this lavatory because we'll need it for tonight. But I'll give it a couple more minutes. Take your time. Yes, is there a question?
Yeah, Professor, should we upload the laboratory model to the March 16 folder now?
You saw that.
Yeah.
That was good. Nope, that's going to be once we're done tonight. I'm going to just have you throw
Okay.
your model up there because there
Okay.
was about a dozen students that didn't submit anything. So I want to make sure that we're all good. And like I
Oh,
was saying to students, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Are we supposed to like upload? I uploaded sheets for mine. Am I supposed to upload the file or the sheets for
Yeah,
the?
so I'll never have you upload anything other than the Revit model. That's all I need.
Oh, okay.
Because remember that, I mean, I know where to go to find your sheets, right? They're right here.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's a good question, and I'm glad you printed like PDFs, which is something a skill you'll need. And it's funny, I kind of skipped teaching that because I assume that you guys just know how to do it. Uh, I wish I could say the same for all of my 550 coworkers who are my age and up who can't print their own sheets. I understand you guys just basically know how to do it. So, but long long answer. Just submit the Revit model. That's all you ever need to submit.
So if I already uploaded the sheets and it's not letting me like upload the model, is that cool for this time?
It's absolutely cool. I'll,
Okay.
I'll I am looking for a number next to a name, right? I'm not even checking them. I assume you did it well. I just
Mm.
want to get a gauge now on who's even participating. Because out of 58 students, I usually get 16. I got 16 on here. About a dozen I saw didn't submit anything, which is okay. I'm going to reach out to those students, but I want to keep a weekly, just updating, just posting the model. And then if you have questions, obviously now I can go look at it, and engage you personally one on one, right? Chucky. Oh, sorry. Gotta see my emails. I'll give it one more minute. A couple of people are logging on. Okay, I think we've got everyone that we're gonna have. Now, hopefully you completed the assignment. If not, go ahead and open your model, or even if you did, open your model, go down this level 2 floor plan, and I'm just gonna kind of repeat it just to make sure we're all on the same page. So I'm gonna delete everything I have in my model. You don't, if you've got it, don't worry about it. You can just hang out. If you didn't get it or if you think you did it wrong, I'm just going to kind of redo mine. I'm going to delete my partitions here. Okay, just like that. Now, so if you're following along with me, all right, go ahead and go to the architecture tab. Now remember, we're in floor plan level 2. We're not in a ceiling plan, we're in floor plan level 2. Right? And on the architecture tab, I'm going to click the wall button right here. For the wall, I want to make sure I choose a basic wall, interior 6 1/8 inch partition, 2-hour rated wall. Okay. Now the trick is, if you remember, we had a 12-foot wall out here that was 12 feet away from my wall here. So the trick is, on my offset button, I'm going to type in 12 feet. But I do want to make sure that my finish face interior is my location line, right? So that's going to be finish face interior. So to accomplish this wall at a 12-foot offset, I'm going to set it for 12 feet offset, and I'm going to just come in here and I'm going to pick this inside corner right here. Now when I move my cursor down, we'll see that that wall is starting to show up, and it's 12 feet away from the origin. I pick my face point, I hit escape a couple times, but now notice that I can just select that wall, right? And if remember, because we set our temporary dimensions inside face, I can verify that that's 12 feet, right? I do that every time I put a wall in just to make sure, okay? So I'm gonna hit escape a couple times. I've got that one long wall in. Now I'm gonna right click on this wall or any of these walls. I'm going to create similar again. Okay. Now my offset's gonna be 6 feet. I'm going to pick this inside face. I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to pick that wall there, and I see that it's 6 feet. I'm going to hit escape once because I know I have a 12-foot wall up here, right? I'm going to change my offset to 12. I'm going to pick a point right here. I'm going to pick a point right here. I'm going to hit escape once. Now I know I have a wall right here, right? So I'm going to set my offset to 9 space 6, right? So I can type in 9, the space, then the 6, and I can hit enter, right? And it's going to fill in the feet and inches for me, right? So now I'm going to pick this endpoint here. I'm going to move my cursor straight down, and I'm going to pick this point here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Is anyone lost? Does anyone not get that? Excellent. I know it's a little bit of a recap, but I just want to make sure that we're all good. Okay. So now I want to add a door. Okay. I'm going to go to the architecture tab. I'm going to go to door. And I'll use my single flush 36 by 84. And I'm going to put a spot right here, and I want that 1 foot off the wall. I don't really care what number it is. I'm going to put a door up here. Now, remember, if I want it to flip in the opposite direction, I can hit my space bar and it's going to flip it. I can see that I'm 1 foot off of that wall, and I'm going to pick a point right here. I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Oh, we could all do this. So let's go ahead and let's renumber this door to 201. I'll have everyone do that so we're on the same page. So this door right here, remember how we changed that tag, right? We're going to select the door. We're going to select the tag, and we're going to change that tag to 201. I'll have you all do that. And generally, when you see a door inside of a little room like this is going to wind up being 201 capital A, right? That's a common thing you see these days. Then we're going to hit escape a few times. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when I did the assignment, from watching your video,
Mhm.
the long, what would I call it? The long wall that goes from the top to the bottom. Yeah, that one. At the bottom, it's not perfectly flush with with that wall like yours is. It's like you can see the line that separates both walls.
You know, it's funny you say that because when I went into my model, mine looked like that too.
Yeah,
It
like
looks like
that.
kind of like that.
Exactly.
All you got to do, it's weird. Sometimes, every now and then, the walls don't want to join. All you got to do is select the wall,
Yeah.
grab the grip, and just pull it down just a tiny bit, and it rejoins it.
Oh yeah, it did. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's sometimes and a lot of times like this one didn't join, you know, and if you remember last week, we had some difficulties joining that, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, you're gonna model, you're gonna build your whole model in a couple days, and you're gonna spend the rest of the life of the model picking around at wall intersections. I find sometimes that's your first couple of projects winds up being like that. Let's hit save if you haven't already. I had big plans to do structure tonight, but I want to do some more architectural stuff tonight, then maybe jump into structure next week. I know someone had asked me about structure. I said, oh yeah, we're going to do it tonight. But then moments ago, I changed my tune. But I promise we're going to do a full night, if not 2 nights of structure. But tonight I want to keep going with some interiors. So what I want to do is this is a bathroom. Right, so I want to have a bathroom stall here, and to do that, we don't have a bathroom stall wall. Right, so what I want to do is I want to make just like a blue epoxy resin type wall. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to zoom in on my lavatory here. I'm going to right click on this wall, and I'm going to create similar. And what I want to do is I want another type of wall. I don't want this interior 16.5 partition, but I can start with this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to click on edit type right here, edit type. Now I want to duplicate this wall and I'll make a copy of it. So over here, we're just going to click on duplicate. And this is something that you're going to do a lot of times in your architectural careers. You're going to be duplicating walls. So we're going to click duplicate. Okay. For the name, I want it to be interior hyphen stall partition. Interior stall partition. Then click OK. Is anyone not with me?
Could you repeat this process again, Professor?
Yep. So I started my wall command, right? So I went to architecture. I want to wall. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, let's click on edit type right here. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to come over here and we're going to click the duplicate button. right here. We're going to call it interior. What did I call it? I forgot now. Who remembers what I called this?
Stall partition.
All partition.
Oh, partition. Thank you. Isn't that bad how quickly my brain just it just leaves me? Interior stall partition. We're going to click OK. We haven't done anything other than change the name. I could have called it interior Eric's toilet wall if I wanted, right? But what I want to do now is I want to click on the preview button right here. Click on preview. It's because it's a plan view of that wall, okay? For the structure, I want to click on edit. Now what we'll see here is the function. 2 layers of 5/8" gypsum is what gives this wall its fire rating. We just completely removed any fire rating notes from it, and there's not going to be gypsum on it. You very seldom see a gypsum wall inside of a bathroom stall, right? So what I want to do now is I want to click on the number 1 right here where it says finish 2, and it's gypsum wall. We're going to select that, right? And we're going to come down here, we're going to click delete. And then we're going to delete the next one, delete. Right, so we only have 2 on the inside now. Now I'm going to select number 5. I'm going to click delete. Select number 4. We're going to click delete. Right? Anyone not get that? Excellent. Now, all we're left with is this thick, and you know those doors are like 1.5 inches thick, maybe 2 inches thick, and they're solid plastic, basically. So what I want to do is for my thickness, we'll make that, I don't know, 2.5 inches. And I want to add a material to it. So in my material cell, it says metal stud layer. We're going to click this little browse button right here. And I don't know what material I want to make it. I'm just going to go up here and find, I don't know, metal, aluminum. Well, I don't know. Type in the word red. I want it to be red. Nah. Type in the, yeah. So down here, we'll just grab metal door red. Instead of metal door red, what we can do, go ahead and right click on metal door red. I'm sorry, I know I'm being kind of indecisive. Right click on metal door red and just rename it. Let's call it metal hyphen red. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Now what we'll see, if we click up here, we're on the graphics, we could add a hatch pattern. If we go to appearance, this is how it's going to render out, right? So we can add a finish, we can add a tint. We're gonna get into rendering probably the last night, but this is how we add materials. Okay. Did anyone not find this? Anyone not rename it? Excellent. So select metal red, click OK. Woohoo, yeah, she's red. Let's click OK. Let's click OK again. Now notice that when we zoom into this area here, we can move our cursor down, and let's, now why do we want to be, The 4 feet is going to be our minimum ADA clearance. Let's go 5 feet right there. Gives us plenty of clearance. We'll go with 5 feet. Pick a point right there. Move your cursor all the way over. Pick a spot right there. Just skip a few times. Now it doesn't look red, right? In a moment, we're going to take a perspective view, and we'll see that it is in fact red. Now I'm not sure if that's actually going to be 5 feet, so I'm going to select my wall. I got lucky; it is 5 feet. But if it's not, you can just select this 5 foot increment and type in 5, right? That way we know it's in the right spot. Everyone get that? Anyone not get it? Excellent. Hit the save button. Now we need to put a door in there, right? So let's go to door. Hit this drop down here and let's grab 30 by 80. We're gonna need a smaller door than that. It's pretty big. Plus I want it to be red anyway, right? So let's grab 30 by 80. Okay. Let's click edit type right here. Let's click duplicate. Look familiar, right? We're going to copy that door. We're going to make a new door size. Duplicate. Let's call it 24 inches by 80. Get rid of the number 2. Call it hyphen stall door. Let's click OK. The height is still 6'8", but the width, instead of 2'6", I just want it to be 2 feet. But now notice that we have door material and frame material, right? I want to swap that out. So for my door material, you see where it says door hyphen panel? Right, we're going to click the browse button right here. Let's find that red, type in red. There it is, right? Metal, red. You see what I'm doing here, right? I know that red is a great color for this. It's going to make people enraged, but that's okay. Metal, red. Click OK. For the frame of material, let's do the same thing. Browse. Usually it goes back to the correct material, but just type in red. It's going to be metal, red. We're going to click OK. Click OK. Now we're going to actually swing this door in and to the wall, right? Let's leave it a foot like we generally do. And I don't even want a tag on it. We generally are not going to have a tag for that. Yes, is there a question?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you make the annotations on the side when when you're placing a door, like on your screen there are 2 annotations, like where the door actually swings and yeah, to the left and right of the door, but for me it's like it's on the center of the door, so how do I change that?
Right. Good question. So what we want to do, if you got your door in there, you're fine. You can just hang out for a second. But if it's dimensioning off the center, we don't generally want that, because someone's not going to go install that door. They're not going to measure to the middle of it and then try to equalize it. They're going to measure it to the both sides of that jamb. So we're going to want to go to the Manage tab. We're going to want to go to Additional Settings right here. little monkey wrench. And we're going to scroll all the way down till we find temporary dimensions. Now, in our temporary dimensions, our walls want to go off the faces. Our doors and windows want to go from openings, which I wish doors and windows were broken down, because windows you do lay out to the center line of the window, and doors use a layout to the openings, but it's one or none, so doors and windows want to be openings. Now if you click OK,
Yeah, thank
now if
you.
you go back, and you're welcome. Now if you select your door, it'll jump to the side. So if your door was like in the wrong spot accidentally, remember, just select your door. You're going to select that dimension, and you're just going to type in 1 foot, and that door is going to be constrained 1 foot off of that exterior wall. Question? Any other questions? Comments? There's a lot of room in here. Well, this is an ADA compliant situation, right? Speaking of that, there's nothing in here. So this is where we start pulling in fixtures, right? So bringing in a water closet is going to be the same as bringing in a desk, right? Do different functions. However, the process is the same, right? So let's all save our models. Okay. Now let's go to the architecture tab. Actually, let's go to the systems tab. Now this is all MEP stuff, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We won't get into most of this other than this plumbing fixture right here. And it's justly illustrated as a toilet. So click on the plumbing fixture button. Since this is the architectural template, there's no plumbing fixtures loaded into this template. So we do want to load one now, so click yes. I'm not sure where yours is going to land. I'm going to scroll up to my English Imperial. Okay. I hope you guys all have this directory. If not, I don't know. Hopefully you all have it. Let's scroll down to plumbing. Let's go to MEP. That means mechanical, electrical, plumbing. Let's go to fixtures. Let's come all the way down to water closets. Oh, they've added a bidet now. Let's not add a bidet, although I want to. No. Let's grab a water closet, flush valve, wall mounted. Now you wouldn't know it, but there's a big difference between floor mounted and wall mounted. Wall mounted is a much more sanitary application because they get a mop underneath it, right? There's no such thing as behind the toilet. The toilet's mounted to the wall. So it's a lot easier for maintenance, right? Just so you know that, it's a lot harder for the plumbing engineer because they have to mount it. They're not just screwing it to the wall. They have to have a giant carrier in that wall. But the wall mounted is the preferred application. So click open. Okay, now notice that we can't do anything unless we find a wall, right? So once we hover over the wall, we'll see that that toilet, it shows up. So generally it's going to be a foot off of the wall, so you can reach the the toilet holder and stuff. It's kind of hard to see it, but I'm going to put it like right here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times, and if I select it, right, my temporary dimension is coming off the inside face, which is 4 feet. We're going to hit escape a couple times. Did anyone not get it? Can anyone tell me why there would be a big cavity here in this wall? Why I did that? Does anyone know why that would be like that?
It's a duct.
What's that?
It's a duct.
Yes, so it's for the plumbing. It's a chase wall, right? So all of our plumbing is going to be back here. We gave them a lot of room, so they can't complain. I mean, generally, when you have 3/4 inch domestic and you have 4-inch waste, the wall cavity itself is generally enough. But in commercial applications, if you have a bank of toilets and sinks, a lot of times you want to give them a good amount of room to get in there and install all of the plumbing. We're not going to do that, and I'm going to leave the lavatory at this because I want to do other things. But that's kind of how you add a partition wall and you add a fixture. Now, one thing that's kind of nice to do is, let's do this. Save, of course, save your model. And I want to make a 3D view out of this little, sorry, I would make a 3D view out of this lavatory area. So it's kind of cool how to do it. Hold down your control key. Okay. Go ahead and select this wall here. And select this wall here. These two walls. We have two walls that are selected. Okay. Now I want to click on this little icon right here. This is selection box. Go ahead and click that. So what this does is this orients basically a section box around that area. So do that, hit escape a couple times. Now the extents went a little higher than I would have wanted, but that's okay. Notice that it has this little frame around it, this little transparent box. Go ahead and select that. Notice that there's these little pull grips, right? We have these little pull grips. Grab this one and pull it down just a little bit so it's down past the floor above it. All right. We can grab this one here. Oh, I got it oriented funny. Oriented like this. All right, so here's our hallway. Here's our long wall here. We can grab this grip and pull it in a little bit if we want. Right now we can see down kind of in there, right? We can see our wall composition. And we're going to do this again when we get into one of the actual rooms, right? Remember how I'm doing this? I'm holding down my shift button and my wheel button. And we're going to check it out. Anyone not get that? I have views like this all over my drawings. They're nice to have. Any questions or comments? Excellent. Okay. Hit save. And let's go back down to level 1. Under floor plans, let's go to level 1. I want to zoom in on this room right here. But first what I want to do, actually, I want to put actual rooms in all of these spaces. So the reason we're going to do this is we're going to add a room and it's going to calculate the actual volume of this space. It's going to give us a name and it's going to give us a room number. It's important to do that. But when we add a room to a space, what it does is it's a 3D element, right? So when we cut a section through it, we're going to actually be able to see the room in every single view that we're in. And also we can create color code plans from this. So if there's egress plans, ingress plans, we do a lot of healthcare. So there's a lot of those types of plans where we need to show the client, room usage, right? So to do that, before I start, is anyone behind? Is everyone good? Is everyone with me? Awesome. You guys are keeping up. It's nice. So let's go to the architecture tab. Now, about 2/3 of the way down, we're going to see the room button right here. Room. Okay. Now make sure for tag on placement is checked on, right? Because it's hard to tell if there's a room there if there's no tag that comes with it, right? So we're going to click tag on placement, make sure that's turned on. We're going to hover our cursor over this room here, and notice that it's going to find all of the boundary walls. And so we're just going to pick a spot right here. And we're going to hit escape a few times. Room 1, right? Now what we can do, if we hover over this room here, it's kind of hard to get it, but if we just go ahead and select the room tag itself, we can rename it. But what I want you to do is I want you to find the actual room because it's kind of hard to see it. To select it easier, down in the lower right-hand corner, you see there's a little row of like 6 icons, and there's one here that says select elements by face. I had you uncheck it last week, but now I want you to check it on so we cannot select elements by face. I want there to be a little red X there, right? So when we click that button, now when we hover over this area here, it's a little easier to find it, right? So if you kind of move your cursor around, you see that little red X will show up, right? So when you see that X, find it and just select it. And notice that we have all sorts of different properties for our room. This is important information to know, right? Area, perimeter, volume. It's not computed because we would have to do a different calculation. But we're going to scroll down to where it says name and number. Right, so for the number, I want it to be 101. 101. And for the name, I want it to be all caps office. And I want to hit enter. Bye. It's going to update. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Did everyone get that? Did anyone not get that? Hey, you guys are great. Right, now I want to add offices along here, but the problem is they're going to default as room again, but I think the number will count sequentially. So click room. I'm going to go right here, but notice it will line up to the adjacent tag. That's just good drafting practice, right? So we're going to put one here. Yeah, it's working out real nice. We're going to put one here. I'll put one. Don't put it over the top of a tag if you've got a wall tag there. Right there. Right there. I'm going to put one right here. But I want that name to correspond with that door. Make sure that's room 107, or I'm sorry, 108. See, this is how people get lost when they go in the buildings. People like me are naming the room numbers. You're going to have to report to room 107, and you're never going to find it. Okay, room 108. I hit escape a couple times. I'm going to go back to room, and we're going to keep going. 9, 10, 11. If your door tags and your room numbers aren't the same, it's not the end of the world, right? I don't care. You see how to change it. You see how to put a room in? That's what I care about. Okay. Any questions or comments? Any thoughts? Okay. Here's what I want to do now. This is a nifty little tool. Okay. We're going to put a big room here and a big room here, but I want to rename these all the office first. So what I want to do is I want to select everything in my model. So I'm going to pick a box starting way over here. I'm going to sweep across my entire model. I'm going to resolve this selection box down here like that. Everything is selected. The more stuff you have in a model, the harder it is to do that. But at this stage of the game, I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Because what I want to do is I only want to select my rooms ultimately. So with everything selected, let's click on the filter button right here. Let's click on filter. Everything. Revit knows exactly what's in our model, right? So I want to click check none right here. Check none. And I just want to select rooms. Rooms. 12 of them. Click OK. Right? Now we're going to get all of the parameters that are in common. We're going to scroll down till we find number. That's going to be blank. We can't change that. But the name, click into here, click the drop down and just select office. Because once we typed in office, that went into Revit's database. And now that database contains that word office. So if we had spelled it wrong, at least it would be consistently spelled wrong throughout our model. Click apply, click escape a couple times. Now we'll see that we've got all these offices. Okay. It's pretty boring building, I know. I know. Hit save. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want a room here and a room here, but I don't have anything dividing that. So what we need to do is we need to add a room separator, right? So click on this button right here, right to the right of room, click on room separator. Okay. Zoom in right to here, and you don't have to be all that exact. I'm going to pick the endpoint of this wall, but you can be inside of here pretty much anywhere. Revit is not too picky about room separators. But I'm going to pick this point right here. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to pick this endpoint here. And I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to go back to room. Notice now that's going to respect that boundary. So I'm going to put a room here. I'm going to put a room over here. I don't know what to call this. So click on the tag itself. You can click on the name room. We'll call it production floor, Production I call it something different every time. I don't know what this building does. We're going to hit enter. It's a cool looking name. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to use that for now on. This room here is just going to be northwest, southeast entry. I'm going to hit enter. Did you guys keep up with all that? Anyone not? I feel like I'm going too fast. I can feel it. Okay. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna hit save. No questions? Okay. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to fuss around with this office here, but I want to make a call out of it. You all remember how to do that, but we're going to do it together as a group. The more call outs means the more detail you have, means the less calls you'll get after you've designed a building and they're trying to build it, right? The more information you could add now is going to help you in the long run, trust me. So to do that, remember, we go to the View tab, if you remember correctly. Then we go to Call Out right here. Click on Call Out. Now I'm going to pick a box or a window from this point here. I'm going to move my cursor down to about here. Okay. And we know what that does. That's going to make a view. See it right there? Made a new view. Now, I do not like this nonsense. You never want text overlapping other pieces of text. So to move this little bubble, all we're going to do is we're going to select this call out perimeter box right here. We're going to select that. And I'm going to grab this little grip. I'm going to drag this puppy all the way over to here. Then I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I don't like that that's right on top of that dimension, so I'm going to pull that out just a little bit. And I can fix my little bubble accordingly. I'm going to hit escape a couple times again. Are there any questions or comments? Anyone not get that? Remember, it's being recorded too, so. Now, double click on the little bubble to open up our view, but look how clean it is, right? None of our text, none of our dimensions, none of our tags came with it. And also notice that the view scale is 1/4 inch equals a foot. So it doubled the actual view scale from the 1/8 inch plan, which makes sense. There's no sense having a call out of a view and have it be the same scale, right? It's useless to do that because we have a lot more room now for dimensions and notes, and I want to place furniture in this office, right? Any questions or comments? We're good? Okay. Now's your chance. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, on the view control toolbar for detail level, right? Oh, there we go. What you got?
So there aren't any dimensions in this view.
Because dimensions are considered annotations, right? So the question was, how come there's no dimensions in this view? Those are considered annotations, and those are view specific, right? It's like drafting. It's like AutoCAD. They don't travel from view to view, right? You'd have to dimension this view over again, which in this case is fine because we're not going to dimension the outside, right? We're going to start doing interior dimensions. We're going to dimension the window width. Now we're going to start dimensioning stuff at a larger scale, right? So we don't want all the dimensions that we already have on level 1, right? So if someone's looking at your drawings, they're going to go to sheet 101, and they're going to get all these pertinent dimensions from this sheet. Right now they're going to go to that call out, which is nice if it's on the same sheet, but it might not be. Now they're looking for, maybe another call out of the window. They're looking for specific dimensions based on the room that wouldn't fit otherwise on the other sheet. Did I answer your question? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But now we'll see that this is level 1 callout 1. It's a whole brand new view, right? So we have to adjust our detail level. We don't want it to be coarse. We want it to be fine because we want to see that wall composition, right? We want to see that. But now if you notice that, if we go back to the architecture tab, and we just go to tag room right here, the room is still there, right? So we can tag that room. That's a 3D element, but the tag itself is a 2D element, right? So we can tag it right. Just put that tag right there. I'll move that up because I'm gonna put a couch there and
Could you
have
repeat the
someone
last
sit.
step?
What's that?
Could you repeat the last step for me, please?
Of course I can. So I'll just undo the tag. So now what I did was I went to my architecture tab, and then I went to room tag this time, or it says tag room. Actually, it's backwards, but we're going to click on tag room. We can put that tag wherever we want it. I'm going to put it right here, actually. Hit escape a couple times. It's still Office 101. We're just looking at an enlarged view of it.
Thank you.
Does this concept, yep, you're welcome. Does this concept make sense? It's the same room. Anything 3D that we put into this room is going to show up in every view. Anything 2D, such as text notes, dimensions, tags, are only going to show up in that view. Okay. Now, what's nice about this tag, too, if we select Office 101, select the physical tag itself, and in our properties, let's click the drop down here. It says room tag. Let's go room tag with area. That way now we know the exact square footage of that room. Right? If we ever change a wall, I mean, don't do it, but if I change a wall, you know, it's going to automatically calculate that square footage. This is important for you to know as an architect, because you design spaces, right? That space has data that comes with it. That's where this class comes in, right? We can get the space looking aesthetically pleasing as we want, but that 245 square foot, there's a number, there's a price tag associated with that, right? So you have to be cognizant of square footage in a building. I know you know that, but this is how we're going to pull that information out and be able to depend on it, right? So let's hit save. Because it's a good idea. Everyone's doing it now. Now I want to add a desk in here, but I do not like the content that comes with the software. All right. You guys are lucky. You know, when I started doing this, manufacturers had no content. I had to make it all. You can Google anything you want. You can Google desk Revit, you know, just use the word Revit, use the actual item you want, and you're going to find thousands of items that you can drop into your model. I just want to show you how. When you go get your own content, that's just how it's obviously easy. It's the same as dropping in that toilet. But what I want to do though is let's go over to the architecture tab. Now we've been very specific on what we've been putting in to our model, right? Doors, windows, plumbing fixtures. This case, we just want to add a component, because now we're going to start putting in stuff that just doesn't have a button for it, right? So if we go to component, this is everything else. So the last component we put in was a toilet. You could put a toilet in that office. We'd be kind of odd, a little off-putting. So let's not put a toilet in this office. But if we click the drop down here, what crabapple tree? No, I don't put that in there. You can kind of start to see, oh, okay, this is all the rest of the stuff we can add to a model. Right, I want to find a desk. I'm going to grab 72 by 36. The problem is I have no clue which way this desk is oriented. So we're going to grab 72 by 36 right here. And I could not tell you which way this stupid thing is oriented. But notice that we can kind of just snap it to that wall like that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to put it on this wall just like that. And I couldn't tell you if this thing is backwards or forwards or what. We're going to figure it out because we can show our model in 3D, right? We know that. Before I do that though, and I don't forget, I want to change the name of the view. Instead of level 1, call out 1. You see how it says that here? That's a terrible name. Let's call it level, let's click on it, now soft click it so you can get into edit it. We'll call it level 1, all caps, office 101. And hit enter. Everyone get that? I'm going to move my tag down just a little bit. Okay. I want to add in an interior elevation. Okay, we're going to add 4 of them actually. To do that, we're going to go to the View tab. Right next to the callout icon, we'll see our elevation. We can either have an elevation or a framing elevation. Framing elevation is for structure. We'll click on elevation right here. Move your cursor into your room and put it like right about here. Now hit escape a couple times. Okay. We got to keep adjusting this stupid office tag, but that's okay. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Now notice though, when we select this elevation, there's a box and then there's a target, right? That one says elevation 1A. If we select our box here, notice that we can turn on 3 more elevations for this room. So we can have an elevation of each wall. And that's a very typical thing you want that. Because again, if someone's looking at this plan, they have no idea what's on these walls. You have to tell them. So we're going to turn on this elevation here, this elevation here, and this elevation here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. It's all fun and games till someone has to build it. Now, did anyone not get that? Okay.
Wait, for me, my elevation is grayed out in the view tab.
Oh. Make sure that you're in floor plan, not ceiling plan. Could that be it? So in the project browser under floor plans, in level 1, office 101, you don't want to be in a ceiling plan. You think maybe that's it?
Oh, sorry, I'm using 2 monitors, so I lost my mouse. Oh,
Oh, it happens.
oh, I am in the floor plan though. I'm in detail 1.
Oh, close out of detail 1.
Uh-huh.
And what's that? Go ahead.
Oh, it does show up on like the other floor plans though, like floor 2 and floor 1.
Okay. Well, go down to level 1, just the main level 1, not level 1 office 101.
Uh-huh.
Maybe when we put in the, so do you have a call out there like mine?
Yes.
And then you hit escape a couple times. You can double click on the bubble of the call out and open it up, right?
Yeah.
All right, then you go to the view tab.
Mm-hmm.
And then elevation, it's grayed out.
Yeah, it's still grayed out for me. I did exactly what you did. It's still grayed out.
That's odd. Well, for now, let's do this. Go back down to level 1.
Okay.
Just go down to some other office, like this one down here, 108.
Uh-huh.
Let's do a call out here. Now you're in a floor plan, right? Level 1 floor plan, not ceiling plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Now click on the call out button and let's add one down here. Let's see if that does anything. If not, I'll have to, you'll have to just work in the 1/8 inch plan, which is fine, but Now don't click on reference other view. Make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay.
So we're going to click a point here, a point here. Then you can drag this over. Hit escape a couple times. Did you get that in?
Yeah.
Okay, double click on the bubble.
Yeah, it's still grayed out.
Huh. I'm not sure.
Detail is grayed out for some reason.
What's that?
Yeah, when I click into the details, the elevation is grayed out.
Into the details. I'm not sure what you.
Oh, I did exactly what you did just now, and then like just the elevation part gets grayed out.
Gotcha. Okay, let's do this. Just do it on the level 1 floor plan.
Okay.
And for now, it'll be easier if you just increase your view. Well, let's make sure you can. So on the view tab, can you make an elevation here? Is it grayed out?
Yeah, I can make an elevation here though.
So odd. Okay. So for now, just increase your scale in this view. Instead of 1/8 inch equals a foot, just make it 1/4 inch equals a foot.
Okay.
Hang on. Yeah, change it to 1/4 inch equals a foot. And that way it's just, you get the same view and stuff.
Okay.
Now I have to look at that. Once you submit your model, this is Tina, correct?
Yeah, it's Tina.
I like that the names come with everyone now. This is a lot easier for me. I'll look at your model and see what the deal is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. But for the rest of us, let's jump back to level 1, Office 101. Oh, so Tina, yeah, go to level 1 and just, you got to click the elevation button, right? And then just kind of turn them all on like we did, just by clicking the check mark. So you have that.
I might have a fix. I was looking it up online. So when you click the call out tool, under properties, it says floor plan for us. But if you click detail view under the properties, it apparently grays out the elevation.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. I love Google searches. You can Google anything. Yeah, I'll see if that's the deal. Thank you. But for the rest of us, let's scroll down till we get to the elevations. I'm just going to undo a couple of my. And we're just going to rename these elevations. We'll just call them all Office 101, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So all caps, call Office -1. No, these aren't the best names, but they're fine. Office -2. Office -3. Office -4. Now we can see that elevation, and these are going to wind up on a sheet also. All right, so if we double click on this elevation right here, right, now we can see that our desk is backwards. It's easy enough to fix though. So if you select your desk and hit your space bar twice, it's going to flip it around. Now, what I want to do, so to do that again, I'm going to undo that and I'm going to do it again. So of course it's backwards, right? We had a 50% chance of putting it backwards, and I thought it might have been, but I want to show you how to move it and then align it with that window, actually. I know it's just furniture, but you get the idea. So if you select the desk itself, hit your space bar twice, it kind of moves it out of the room. Okay. But if you go to the Modified tab, and you click this button right here, this is the Align tool. Remember we did it with the door and that radial wall? Same exact thing. We're going to click Align. we're going to hover over the center of our window. Notice that there's a center line there. We're going to pick that. We're going to hover over the center line of our desk and pick that. Don't lock it, because it's a bad idea. If you move your desk, you might wind up moving the window, which is a bad situation. Yes.
I have another question.
Uh-huh,
The
yeah.
desk doesn't show up in the elevation.
What's that?
The desk doesn't show up when I open the elevation. The window is there, but not the desk, even though I put the desk in.
Is it in the model? Like if you go to your floor plan,
Yeah, it
go to
is.
level 1, there's a desk in there.
Yeah,
Although
there
mine
is.
is kind of moved off the wall. So let's all go back to our level 1, or at least a call out. Maybe your desk kind of moved out of the range of the elevation. Like, so I'm just going to select my desk. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to click move. And I'm going to move it back against the wall like that. Maybe that did it.
Yeah, it's still not there. I'm with someone right now, and they don't know why the desk is not there.
That doesn't make much sense. I wish I could see your model.
It's okay. I'll figure it. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to make you a presenter that way. I'll just have to look at your model when we're done to see what exactly what could be happening there. Let's drop in more stuff and see if we can see. Or actually, let's do this. Let's select this window right here. And select maybe, I guess, this wall right here. We'll select this wall right here. Yeah, select the window and the wall here. These two items. There. So we're going to select that window. We're going to select that wall. Right, and on the View tab, we're going to click on this selection box button right here. It's going to be the same thing we did for the bathroom. Go ahead and select that selection box button.
Okay. Yeah, the desk is here now, but it's not in the elevation.
Yeah, that's really weird. I'd have to look and see what that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull my grip down a little bit. So you can see your desk?
Yeah, the desk is here.
Just not in that elevation, huh?
Yeah, but not in the elevation.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
This is where it's tough where I can't just walk over and be like, hey.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was looking to say, wow, I was like, wow, this is going a lot better without us being in the same room. But in this case, it's like, oh man, kind of hands are tied. I can't. That's kind of odd. We'll figure it out though, I promise.
Thank you.
Because this is the easy. What's that?
To that view?
Okay, so what I did was, I'll undo it. So what I did was I want to get a perspective view of this room, and we're going to rename this view too. We're going to actually use this view, and we're going to drag it onto a sheet, right? So what you want to do is we're going to orient a 3D view, but that 3D view's extents are only going to extend to the items that we have selected now, right? So are you in the level 1 view?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to hold down my control key, right? And I'm going to select my window right here.
Yep.
And I'm going to select this wall right here. We'll have to make some adjustments once we have it. So we have these two items are selected. Right now on my View tab,
Yep.
I'm going to click on this little selection box button right here.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to get us in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Right, this is kind of the lavatory above it. But now if I hit escape, and if I select this box that's outlining it, I grab this little grip here, I can drag it down, and I can take a look. So if I come to this side, Right, I can grab that grip and drag it out. Right, so we can see that room.
My desk isn't against the wall.
Yeah, so what you can do, if you just go back down to level 1.
Yeah.
Yes, is wherever the desk winds up. Luckily, it's a movable object. You can just select the desk, and you can move it. You can click move, or you can really just, because it knows right when it's going to hit something, basically. So you can just kind of drag it up and move it to that wall space like that.
Yeah, I got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent, no problem. Let's all hit save. Right, let's see if these next two things work. Right, because that's just a desk and that is furniture. I'm going to bring in more furniture. It's odd that you can't see it. So we're going to bring in a chair here, and we're going to sit someone in it. All right. So let's go to the architecture tab. Click the component button. Now, we don't have anything here that I want this time. So I want to go to load family. Go to load family. Again, don't bring a toilet into here. That would just be weird. So we're going to go up one level. I'm going to go up another level. I'm going to back all the way out until I get to English Imperial. And let's scroll down till we find furniture. Let's go to seating. Let's go to, let's grab this sofa here, this sofa Corbu. Again, this is so stupid. These are the samples that come with Revit, right? This is what we're using right now. If you're going to spec interiors, you're going to go to your manufacturer, and they're going to have this stuff modeled. Or you can take the advanced class, and I'll show you how to model it. But in this case, we're going to grab the sample that comes with the software. So grab this grab sofa Corbu. I don't care what you grab. You grab anything you want. But I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to click open. Now we can at least see the orientation it's going to be in. So before you place it, hit your space bar a couple times and it's going to kind of flip it. So if you like put it like right here, it doesn't have to be against the wall. Pick a spot right here.
Space, it doesn't do. Oh, never mind.
Ah.
I was pressing space, it wasn't working, and then I alt tabbed, and then for some reason it decided to work again. So, sorry.
This room is haunted anyway, right? You know, that's why Tina couldn't get the desk to show up, because it's just haunted. It can be haunted. You can model a haunted house, right? So we're going to put this sofa right here. Now, I don't know which way she's going to be oriented, but did everyone get that in there? Did anyone not get it? Okay. Let's click on component again. Okay. Now let's go to load family again. I want to scroll back out of this seating directory, out of furniture, back up to English Imperial. Okay. Now I want to go down to entourage. Entourage. Now it's very specific who we grab here. I want to grab RPC female. I want to click open. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have these options, Professor.
Who does
I
other
I
do
just
other people not have them? I was afraid maybe some of your directories weren't completely installed. Anyone else having the issue?
Yeah, I
I
just
had
have
the
semi-truck and van.
Okay.
I had the issue for the
Okay.
plumbing fixtures.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of couldn't do that part, but I'll look over the video, the recording.
All right.
And so to fix it, I went back into the shared folder, downloaded it again, just that
Okay.
single folder, and then put it back into the Revit 2021 program data section.
Oh, and did it show up?
Yeah, then it showed up. Like for some reason, when I downloaded the entire thing the first time, the plumbing folder didn't download any of the data inside of it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an issue with Revit 2021, but then I provided the directories. What I'll do is after this, I'll just send out the link again and maybe just go after those specific directories because I want to do structure next week and I'm afraid we'll have the same issue with some of the structural members. So I'll make sure I'll have the content. I almost wonder maybe that's some of the issues we're having with those desks. But if you do have it, let's grab this RPC female. If you don't have it, just follow along because you'll get the gist of what we're doing, right? We're going to click open. Now, specifically, it has to be Cynthia. It's got to be Cynthia, right? You'll see why. Which way does she want to face? I think she wants to be facing out. So hover over here, hit your spacebar a couple times to flip this thing around. And align this up with this like that. And put it right, and put this object right here. Then hit escape a couple times. It doesn't look like much in plan. But what we can do, and everyone hopefully can do this stuff should show up. So one last thing I want to do, then I'll let you guys go. Notice that we've got our 3D icon here, right? We could go to 3D view, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to click this pull down right here, this little drop down, right? And we can come down to camera. You can come down to camera right here. Now you get this old-fashioned like flash bulb looking camera icon. But I want to go over to the corner as if you're standing there taking a picture, right? So if I want to take a picture from here of this corner, we're going to pick a spot like right here, not in the wall because you'll be taking a picture of the back of the gypsum. So we're going to pick a spot right here. And we're going to move our cursor down and way past the room, just like way past it. Notice that you can kind of move the field of view back and forth. So I'm going to pick a spot like right about here. Now, notice that we've got this little crop region. I'm going to select this control grip and I'm going to drag it down. Just like that. Now, for my visual style, I'm going to click this icon here and go to realistic. And she sits down. This is the one RPC that sits. That's why I was very specific on which one to choose. So Tina, did this show up in your perspective view?
Yeah, the couch shows up in perspective view. I don't have the person though, like in my.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't have the content.
Yeah, but yeah, the couch shows up. It's just the elevation doesn't show up.
That's bizarre. I'm looking forward to looking at that. Did anyone else get that? Not showing up, you said other people mentioned it? Okay. I can fix it. I think I can fix it. But yes, you had it too? Your hands up?
No, No, I was just trying to ask, how do you switch to the realistic view?
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Okay.
on the view control toolbar down here, make sure you set the visual style right here. Switch it up to realistic. And then it will basically render it out. We're going to do rendering one night, which is better than a little better than this. I mean, this is as far as Revit's going to go. We have visualization people. We use 3D Studio Max and other programs for our rendering. I don't know what SU has. We use Lumion. I know SU has that. But Revit does an okay job if it's just this low resolution kind of stuff. Are there any questions or comments? So here's what I want you to do. Hit save, and I'm going to let you go for the night. So just know that in Blackboard, on Blackboard, I have an assignments folder. It just says March 16th models here. I'll even move it up. Just drop it in there. I'm going to open a couple. I'll open Tina's just to look at it and see what the deal is, but I just want to see a model next to a name. I'm not going to go turn in your screws on if you had stuff inaccurate. I just want to know that you're submitting stuff. So if you're not on the meeting right now and you're listening to this recording for the first time, you have till just get it up there by class time next week. All right, that way you're caught up. And just drop it in the March 16th models. Even though tomorrow is not going to be March 16th, just drop it in that folder, and I'll and that'll be good.
And just to reiterate, it's just the model that we just up to this point right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm going to before next class, next week I'm gonna email each of you separately just to confirm that you're on track or to ask if you need help. Okay, because then I want to start engaging on your actual model. And again, I know I haven't brought it up much, but really start to think about something you'd like to model. Now that we kind of know how a building somewhat comes together, we know how to drop components in. I know we have a lot to do, but just start to think about a building footprint even that you'd want to get modeled. Okay. So, any other questions?
Eric,
Yes.
can you go to your level 2
Yeah,
on
of course.
the BIM file?
You betcha.
And then can you dimension the I guess the room that has the 201A and 201 doors in it? Just that small section there.
Yeah, so this is 6 feet. Should be
Interesting.
that dimension?
Yeah, I don't get 6 feet. I don't know why. I did follow the recording and I did the 6 foot offset, but I get 5 feet in like 8 and 15/16 of an inch.
Now, if you select the wall itself,
Okay.
does the location line say finish face interior?
Let me see. I just lost that. Oh, finish face. Yeah, it does say finish face interior.
Okay, so what you want to do, it's probably not, it's not that far off, and this happens. So generally what I do is I'm just gonna, if you just select the wall itself, just right here, you should have a temporary dimension that shows up. What does that read?
It didn't show up. It just shows the not that dimension, but the one above it shows up.
Okay, so you have to force it then. So up here on the quick access toolbar, notice that you've got a dimension, aligned dimension icon right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and click that.
Okay.
Now you're going to want to dimension off the inside face of that corridor wall.
Yep.
You're going to want to dimension the inside face of that wall that goes into the lavatory.
Yep.
Right? You're going to just pick a spot like out here somewhere. And that dimension says 5 foot something odd.
Yeah, 5'8".
Okay, so now select this wall right here.
Yep.
Notice that the dimension turns blue. Just click
Okay.
right onto that increment and just type in 6 and hit enter. And it should slide that wall into place.
Yep.
Now the problem is, oh, this isn't going to be 12, right? So you're going to want to do the same here, dimension here to here. And that's going to be less than 12 feet for certain.
Yeah, it's 11 feet right now.
Yeah, you're going to select this wall. You're going to type in 12 here. And then come back and dimension your interior partition for your lavatory. So that's 5. See what I'm getting at, right?
Okay, so manually do all of them pretty much.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that's why I always say, hey, listen, it's always good to check, even if you're sure of it. Because even doing this model, sometimes I get these screwed up and have to go back through and check them. And we mirrored it down, right? So you're better off deleting everything down here and mirroring this. So did that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments? Okay, Tina, I'll take a look at your model. Oh, go ahead.
So we have to submit the model by next class.
Yeah, or you just did it, so you can just drag. You're welcome, Tina. Or you can just drag it up there now, unless you want to mess around with it. Like I said, I'm not gonna open it up. Like, hey, you know, this is wrong. You know, I just want to, and I know you're here. I mean, really, for the people on the call, I see your names, you know. So I just want to make sure everyone's on track, is all. We good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, gang. So if there's no, you can email me too, as always. But if nothing else, we'll talk next week. Unless I'm looking at your model, and I'll get back to you either tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay. Bye-bye.